So, today we are here to discuss Rolling Realms, the latest from Stonemaier Games. And this is one that has not released yet.
Right. It's a pre-order that I just got. If you're a champion via Stonemaier Games, sometimes they'll do a pre-release, and the champions will get them a little bit earlier than retail, but it'll be out soon.
All right. So, I'm not a champion, but Robert is. Although I beat him a lot, so, there's that. All right. So, if you hit the subscribe button there and the notification bell, and both,
that's right.
then you'll be able to follow along with us as we journey through the rest of these 3,000 games that we've got in our collection. And how about this game?
All right, so Rolling Realms, again, it's not available for retail yet, so it's going to be published for this year. Board Game Geek gave it a 7.0. MSRP, it's only $20, so it's pretty cheap. Designed by Jamie Stonemaier, art by Marius Petrescu and Miles Binsky, again by Stonemaier Games. And the interesting part about this game is that Jamie designed this game last year during the pandemic, and he called it an infinitely scalable roll and write. And so we'll get into the gameplay, but it was played on Facebook Live, and enough people liked it that they asked him to publish the game, and he did.
Oh, cool.
Pretty neat.
So, as far as quality of components, all we have are a pair of large oversized dice, a bunch of cards, which are dry erase, and
2 scorecards.
Two scorecards among them, and then a series
and enough for 6 people.
Yeah.
So it plays 1 to 6, and you get the dry erase markers as well.
Yeah. And then rules and a sheet for playing solo, right?
Yeah, there's a solo section as well, even a separate deck of cards for solo, as well as they only give you 1 sheet to score on, but it's a pretty good quality paper, so I wouldn't recommend actually using this. I'd make copies off of it, but you can also download and print them off of the Stonemaier website.
But that's not dry erase, is
This is not. This is just paper. That's why you either make copies or print them off of their website.
Okay. So, I mean, as far as components, I mean, these dice are chunky.
Yeah,
they're
big chunky dice.
I'm a little nervous about rolling them directly on this. I almost wanted to flip the table when we were playing to make it so it doesn't bang and rattle. These are not quite as big as that gigantic Panda game.
Yeah,
the die for that was like
Takanoko.
huge. You could kill someone with that one. These you would just send them to the hospital briefly if you threw them hard.
Maybe a mild concussion.
We might have tried that tonight. So as far as the components, I mean, there's these being dry erase. They're slick, but you expect that. It's not a blended finish because it's dry erase. Yeah. So that doesn't bother me because you know what their purpose is. I'm probably going to give this a 7.5 just because, I mean, I can't see giving it higher than that. There's just not enough components.
It's very functional, and it's meant to do exactly what it's meant to do. And so, yeah, I think 7.5 is a good score.
All right. As far as theme, it's really, there was no theme. It's just...
I kind of disagree with that because we'll talk about in gameplay, but each card is basically a mini roll and write game, and it's thematically centered around one of the previous Stonemaier board games. And each card kind of, some of them felt like the kind of, you could see the inspiration behind the board game for that card.
I'll give you Tapestry. That's the only one that felt like the
I thought
game.
Tapestry, I kind of thought Viticulture was kind of, getting the wine orders together. And,
because they drew a wine glass. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it could have been...
I'm not saying it's a huge part of it, but you can feel the inspiration behind it, and I like that.
I mean, you could... You're marking a die off, and you're trying to total a number on almost all of these.
Yeah.
There's no reason that's viticulture, except for the fact that they drew a wine glass and they put some great outlines.
That's what art does.
All right.
That's what art does.
I don't think it's... I think it's very layered.
I think it's very light. I agree with that. It's very light.
I will give him.
You can see it.
I'll give him bonus for the fact that he took the games that are the Stonemaier games, except for whatever reason they did not use Red Rising, but they had the art from it and they called it the Society.
Yeah, we haven't played Red Rising, nor have we read the book, so we're assuming that the Society is probably part of the story.
I have to think maybe that's because of rights issues.
Possibly.
Yeah, because maybe he didn't want to pay for the rights for this game to have the reference to Red Rising. So he just included the art that was probably already owned by him as far as the game art. in the background, but yeah, the name.
But we don't know.
They renamed the card the Society.
Yeah.
But all the other ones are named after the games, which was really kind of fun. I know Miranda was really excited when she saw that. So yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we got a good laugh because Pendulum, our grievance with Pendulum, our big one, was the fact that the hourglasses don't work and get clogged. And the last die shows one of the dice actually where the clog point is. I was like, yep, that's just the way they work in Pendulum. Perfect. Just a perfect representation of Pendulum. So yeah, the game, I mean, I really like the flavor of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, the cards could have been anything. So given that, I'm probably, because of the flavor of the games being on there, I'll probably give it a 7.
I agree. I think 7 is a good score. Again, it's very light, but it's there.
Yeah.
And, and if you're a fan of their other board games, you can see it. And I appreciated it.
Yeah. As far as the rules, you read the rules. I did.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to it. So it's a very small rule book. It's actually only... The actual rules themselves is only 2 pages. So the front of it's a little bit of the story behind the game and an overview. 2 pages of rules. The rest of it is each card and how each game is played for each card, with then the final page being what you do with resources and how to score. So very functional. The cards themselves tell you how to play the cards, as well as rule books. So really, you read it through one time, you never need to look at it again. I mean, I can't give it anything less than an 8. It's a very well written rule book.
Okay, I'll agree with you. I didn't read it, and we still managed to learn the game very easily.
And it looks like the solo book is just as good. So,
all right. So as far as gameplay, this game is super simple. Everybody has a deck of cards. They're all the same.
All the same.
And you're going to have one player who's going to shuffle the deck and choose 3 at random from the deck that they're going to put in play in front of them.
Right.
Everybody else is going to match those 3.
Right.
Then you're going to have one player, or we rotated because it really doesn't matter, because you're going to roll these dice, and whichever dice come up, you get to use each individual die on one of the boards. You cannot use them both on the same board. So out of the 3 in play, you're going to get to write on 2 of the cards. Now, there are some games that have a few quirks where you'll get to use,
like if there's a
the
pair,
second die.
If there's a pair, or you can use a second die to kind of mark on it. But you still get to use that second die for a second card.
In the process of filling your cards, you may uncover bonus resources. Matter of fact, you probably will, in the form of pumpkins, hearts, and coins. And these will let you alter some of the play rules to let you potentially change the number of pips on the dice.
Right.
Or they'll let you take the die and use it on the 3rd card.
Right.
And then I believe the pumpkins will additionally let you use both of the standard dice that you roll on the same card.
Right.
So there's a little bit of variety that they give you with the things. And some of them you can use them for less coin or less heart if you get pairs of dice. If like somebody rolled pairs or 7, a different combination. So there's a little bit of play with the dice with it. But the goal in this ultimately is to collect stars. And each card has a potential of 6 stars in it. So your maximum score for each round of the game will be 18 points.
If somehow you're brilliant and able to figure it out.
Plus, they give you a decimal value for each of the
unused resources. And so you get 0.1. So if you get up to 10, you can score 1 more victory point.
Right. And we played it anyway. I assume that it's a legitimate that you calculate the decimals for each one and add them up.
We did. I don't remember reading that you couldn't do that in the rulebook. It specifically states, though, that you would count that as 0.1.
Yeah.
So we
ended up with scores like 15.1 and stuff like that. But yeah, there was that. It's all about getting as many stars as you can in each round. And you play 3 rounds, so each round you're going to draw 3 more of these cards. So there's a deck of, I believe there was 11 in the deck. We had 2, I think, that were left over.
I think you're right. So there's 3 rounds. Each round is 3 different cards, and you'd have a couple left over.
Yeah, there were 2 left over.
So you're actually rolling the dice 81 times.
Yeah. 81?
9 times 9, right?
9 times.
You get three
rounds,
and you're rolling it 9 times.
9 times 3 is 27.
Right. That'll work too.
Yeah.
Math's hard.
Yeah. If you're playing 9 times 9, you're going to be here a while. This game will take a lot longer. So 9 times 3 is 27. The more you know.
Give or take.
So yeah, you're going to end up rolling the dice a lot.
Yeah.
And each player is going to get, we got to roll. We went around the table.
We went around,
ladder by roll. Otherwise, you would have if you were playing 6 players like we were, you'd end up with 3 people getting to actually roll the dice, and we didn't want that. So it doesn't really matter who rolls the dice. It's not really relevant.
And the rulebook just says a person.
Yeah.
So.
And we have, you have a card that you can actually track the die rolls on.
And I found it quite useful, actually,
Yeah.
because the first round we kind of didn't do it, but then rounds 2 and 3, I did write every die roll, and so it did help keep track of the rounds, but also, did I write this number down? Yeah, I did. It helps you keep track of it a little bit. Yeah.
So that's really all there is to it. You roll and you get your score, and whoever has the high score wins.
Yeah, I mean the box says it takes 30 minutes. And that was even a learning game. I think it took us 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So it'd be even quicker once we.
But it also says ages 14 up. I don't understand that.
Totally, someone under 14.
Yeah, there's no reason at all. So yeah, it's a very simple game. I definitely liked the tapestry. I think I might have liked the tapestry board better than the game Tapestry. That's pretty fun.
I like the board game a lot, but I mean, pretty well known that the timers aren't the best. So
no, that would be Pendulum.
Oh yeah, Pendulum. But
Tapestry.
I like Tapestry's board game a lot.
Well, I like the concept of it. We still haven't reviewed that one yet.
We haven't.
I like the concept. I really wanted to like that game a lot. I still really want to like that game a lot. I hope there's somehow it magically fixes themselves. I think burning a couple of the characters will help a lot. But
it's a great game. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as the play of it, I thought it was fun. It's not, there's not a lot to it. It does, like I said, it doesn't really fit the games when you're playing. There's a little flavor of some of them.
It's a great filler game. It's great for the family, so it's easy to break out, get it knocked out in between games, or it's the end of the night and you just want to relax real quick, knock it out. I really like it. Yeah.
Now, we did have one player that abstained halfway into the first round because the numbers, he didn't like playing the game with numbers.
Yeah, and I could see that being maybe a little bit, I could see some people having a problem with that. And so, and it could be fairly fast, so if you're not writing the stuff down as quickly as some of the others, I could see how that could be a little intimidating.
Yeah, so it may not be for everyone, but if you like the types of roll and write games, this is it's a nice little twist. I mean, there's not that
you're basically playing 9 mini games,
yeah,
and so it's really neat. I like that concept a lot.
So probably I'm probably about a 7 on this is where I'm at.
I'm going to score a little bit higher because I like the concept of it being so quick. I like it being little mini games. So I'm actually going to score an 8. I like it quite a bit.
Okay, cool. So, well, that's our impression of Rolling Realms. So hopefully, if you saw it, if this is something that's coming out in the future you might be interested in, take a look at it. Stonemaier Games, and it should be hitting the shelves here pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's only $20, so that's MSRP.
Yeah, all right. It's probably worth 20 to me, so I'll probably pick it up. So.
Yeah.
All right. That's talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.